Hey guys, how are ya? I'm going to be doing another movie review this evening. This movie is a war film from Israel, Hebrew language, English subs, released in 2009, directed by Samuel Moaz, and this movie is called Lebanon. The story to this one is as follows. June 1982, the First Lebanon War has begun. A lone tank holding four 20-something novices is dispatched to search a hostile town, which has already been bombarded by the Israeli Air Force. But what should have been a simple mission gradually spirals out of control when the four soldiers are pushed to their mental limits, struggling to survive in a desperate situation. Awarded the top prize at the 2009 Venice Film Festival and based upon the experiences of writer-director Samuel Moaz, Lebanon is a visceral, thrilling and utterly original piece of modern filmmaking. So I guess you could say that this is a biography because it is based on the encounters that the director really did have when he was serving his time in the Lebanon War in 1982. So the main characters are four very young Israeli soldiers who are being left the responsibility of operating a tank. Now their mission is to accompany some foot soldiers to this town that has been bombarded by the Israeli Air Force, and their job is to wipe out any resistance that they might get, because this is a very strategic point for Israel and they want to occupy this town. So they embark on their mission and they get to the town, but not all is what it seems, and the commander in charge of the operation gives the tank the wrong directions, and the tank along with some other foot soldiers become lost, and the situation is getting rapidly getting worse. So these four soldiers are cracking under the mental pressure as they realise that they are being surrounded by the enemy. So what happens from that point on, I don't want to give it away, so please go and see the film if you want to see how it unfolds. Now my thoughts on this movie. The reason I love this movie so much is because it's so unique. It has never been told in the way it's been told here. Now also, it's actually based on real life encounters, so it portrays a lot more realism than your average kind of war film. Now what I say, it's so unique, and the reason it's unique is because it's set entirely inside a tank. So if you're a claustrophobic person, you're going to really struggle getting through this because there is a strong sense of a very small world. These four soldiers in very harsh conditions, very, very hot, and they're trying their best to make sense of a war that they don't want to be in, but at the same time being so cramped together, it's kind of like their small world, and outside we're oblivious to what's happening. The only glimpse that we get of the outside is when they look through their gun turret at the crosshairs. That's the only glimpse. So you actually don't go outside the tank, and throughout the film I kept thinking, I have to get out of this tank, I have to get out, have to get out, have to get out. And it made me feel very uncomfortable because it's a very unique camera angle that the director is using, and he is putting you alongside these guys as they go about their mission. So yeah, if you like the psychological kind of film, this one is definitely for you because yeah, claustrophobia is a massive theme in this movie. There's also a sense of hopelessness in the situation that they're left in, of what you will do under pressure, and what the strain it has on mental capabilities, and basically working together as a team, working for your friend, and that's exactly what these soldiers are trying to do in order to get out of here. It also depicts the horrors of war, and it's a very realistic portrayal because these people who kill people aren't enjoying it. They've been affected by it greatly, which shows that the violence in the film is done for a reason. There is some pretty horrific violence in the movie, not an overly gory film, nothing like Saving Private Ryan, but that's okay because it is relying on its psychological element, which it does very, very well. Acting was good, although you don't get much of an insight into the characters. For their situation, you sympathise for them. They weren't thinking that they were in the right. They didn't even want to be there. A few times they actually asked if they could leave. So for that reason, I really sympathise with them because they weren't enjoying the war. They weren't enjoying taking people's lives, and they weren't enjoying seeing the chaos around them because obviously a horrific thing, war, and it really did give a realistic character portrayal. So I really like that aspect too, and the acting was very good. Cinematography, excellent, very bright and colourful. The tank is very dirty and sweaty. The only problem I had with the way it was shot was that some of the close-ups of the civilians were hammed up a little bit for the camera. I thought it was a little bit too theatrical, and instead of giving the subtleties of sympathy, I actually thought that the subtleties weren't there when they were zooming in on the face, and it was kind of thrust upon you, in front of you, that you should be feeling sorry for these people. Whereas I actually thought that it didn't need that obvious indication of sorrow, because the subtleties did the talking, and I just don't feel that it was natural the way he did it. So that was my only gripe with the film. The ending had some great suspense. It's in a dark sort of abandoned village, and I thought that was really, really well done. It was about 10 or 15 minutes of genuine suspense, and I thought it was a great way to end a film. The director, as I said, he's experienced these things, so I couldn't imagine what the hell he had to go through when shit hit the fan big time. I just don't know how I would have survived, and for that reason, you just get a real level of sympathy, and you get a lot of respect for the people who actually survive this kind of thing. So, very, very unique war film, told entirely in a tank, as I said, so it provides something very new. It's not your typical American propaganda war film. It is centering on a very controversial war, Israel-Palestine. I'm not taking sides, and that's what the film doesn't do either. It doesn't take sides. It's not about who's right and wrong. It's about the harsh realities of war and how much of a psychological impact it can have for a soldier. So, fantastic film. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I thought there were tiny negatives in the film that prevent it from being a perfect movie, but if you like war films, this is definitely one that I'm going to highly recommend. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.